Which of these two email openings is going to engage a journalist, or should I say, the host of a podcast? This is the first opening. Hi, Craig. I'm Abby, a UX designer based in Manchester.
So, the first speaker will be Mr. CK Goldiing, who is a content and publicity specialist. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Indra. Hello, hey.
Hello.
Look at these beautiful faces. Yeah, I am CK, and as Indra mentioned, I'm a content and publicity specialist, which is a very fancy way of saying entrepreneurs, brands, and professional creatives hire me to boost their profile in mainstream media. So that involves getting them featured on TV, radio, newspapers, magazines, influential websites, and more specifically nowadays, podcasts. So my job, I have 7 minutes to transform your media fortunes. Tall order, but I'm going to try. All right, we're going to play a game in a minute called Spot the Liar in the Room. It's a really fun game and nowhere near as sinister as I make it sound, I promise you. But first, a little exercise. We're going to play. Let's see.
You need to point the laptop.
The other arrow, maybe.
You need to point the laptop.
There we go. Let's play which headline. I'm going to show you guys 2 headlines, and I want you to guess which one you think is most likely to secure the attention and interest of an influential journalist. All right? Both of these headlines pertain to Kat, who's an artist from my home city in Sheffield. Kat will be on Channel 4, a huge programme tomorrow. This isn't fictitious. She will be on Channel 4 tomorrow. All right? Now, the 2 headlines I'm going to show you, one of them was written by Kat before she came to my agency, and one of them was the rework that we did. Now, what I want you to guess is which one's most likely to secure the attention of a journalist that Kat wants to talk about her in her local newspaper. Just for context, has anyone, via a show of hands, ever sent out a pitch to the media before, or a press release? Put your hands up if you've ever pitched the media. Okay, so for context, this is what a classic news pitch would look like. There's 3 key elements. There's a subject field, which is going to be in the inbox of your target journalist. There is the headline, which is going to be the first thing the journalist is going to see when they open your email. And then there's the body of copy, which is the main thing about your business or you. For this exercise, we're focusing specifically on the headline. So which of these 2 headlines do you think is most likely to secure the interest of a journalist for Kat? Headline 1, hit Channel 4 show picks Sheffield artist. Option 2, Sheffield artist to star alongside Kirsty Allsop on this year's Kirsty's Handmade Christmas. I'll give you a couple of seconds just to digest and think. He's getting serious, arms across. Serious thought this. So, via a show of hands, who thinks headline 1 is most likely to capture the interest of a journalist via a show of hands? Okay, that's maybe a 6th. And just via a show of hands, I'm a visual human, who thinks headline 2 is most likely to secure the interest of a journalist? Is anyone who hasn't put their hand up? Because that, that doesn't look like a... So, who went for this one? Again, let's just via a show of hands. What's your name?
Alexander.
Alexander, really nice to meet you. I'm CK. Would you like to share, Alexander, why you think headline A?
I think headline 2 has Kirsty mentioned twice. It's too long, it doesn't capture the attention. Headline 1 says everything that needs to be conveyed in a small bite-sized content that people can absorb immediately.
Okay, thank you, Alexander. Would anybody like to add to what Alexander said regarding, specifically anyone that thought headline 1? What's your name?
Muck.
Matt. Matt, thanks, nice.
Specifically says that Channel 4 will show it, and for the written media, usually TV is something that to look up for. So saying that it will be on TV is probably something that would catch the attention. I think so, and I would totally agree with the previous person.
All right, thank you, Matt. And would we have anyone that stands by headline 2? Hi, buddy, what's your name?
Steve.
Steve. Why do you think headline 2?
First of all, it's not pics, it's stars, so it has a essence of glamour. It's appealing to people who know Kirsty Allsop. It also talks about Christmas, so it touches a lot of different points. different target audiences.
Okay, thanks, Steve. And in the interest of balance, let's go for one more person who favours headline 2. Any fans of headline 2 want to share why? So we can go for 2 apiece. Come on, you've been shy. Who's in favour of headline 2? Okay, well, based on my 5 years as a PR specialist, headline 1 is most likely to capture the attention of journalists. Now, there's 2 specific reasons I want you guys to be mindful of when you start pitching your business, if indeed you do. The first reason is empathy. When it comes to pitching your business to mainstream media, the least important thing in that pitch is you and your business. Ironically enough, I know that sounds counterintuitive. The most important thing is being empathetic towards the person you're pitching and sympathetic to their time. There's 2 things that journalists get all the time. It's a hell of a lot of these news pitches and they see endless hundreds of words every day. If you can distill your story into one effective sentence that's going to give them less work to do, they're going to love you eternally. The second reason is a very, very powerful writing technique called an open loop. In simple terms, an open loop is when you present someone with a proposition that demands a resolution. So it's an unresolved resolution. So it's giving someone something that's going to make the brain think, what do you mean? What do you mean? Once the brain's thinking, what do you mean? It's going to be engaged and it's going to try and figure out something. The open loop in this is hit Channel 4 show, pick Sheffield artist. Which Channel 4 show? So your headline should always have an open loop that makes the journalist want to know more, but don't be excessively oblique and make it too opaque and too vague, because then they'll spin it. Okay? Now, this is spot the liar in the room. Which of these 2 email openings is most likely to capture the interest of an influential podcaster? Meet Abby, a UX designer and CEO from Manchester, who is working on building her media profile. We're looking at the email opening now, so we're looking at this bit. All right? Which of these 2 email openings is going to engage a journalist, or should I say, the host of a podcast? This is the first opening. Hi, Craig. I'm Abby, a UX designer based in Manchester. Look at Matt. For anyone who missed that, Matt just piped up, not this one, after sentence 1. I'm Abby, a UX designer based in Manchester. I have over 2 years of industry experience and have worked for some of the biggest companies in the UK. Through these experiences and following 5 years of late nights, I launched my UX agency, DBH, in 2021. Our growth has been steady, but this year everything changed. That's option 1. Option 2, to the same person. Hi, Craig. Your observation about empathy in yesterday's episode was a revelation. The way you addressed the long-term perils of empathy deficit was standout. Your first guest, Hannah, made an enlightening point about using official and unofficial behavioural study to build effective user interfaces. When she said, better observe humans to better serve humans, I laughed and loved it like a kid with cake. I'm a UX designer from Manchester, same thing. So, out of these 2, we're pitching an influential podcaster. Which of these 2 do you think is most likely to engage that podcast and make them think I love you a little bit? Hands up for option 1. Hands up for option 2. There's definitely humans not putting their hands up. I can spot you. Right, so this game's called Spot the Liar in the Room, and the reason I call it this is because apparently 100% of you have gone for this, right? 2 things you need to be aware of. Firstly, you're absolutely correct. Secondly, in the 5 years that I've been doing this, do you know how many pitches like this I see? What percentage in the average year of the pitches you think look like that, Matt, when people come to me?
0.
Less than 5% of the pitches that businesses and creatives and entrepreneurs come to me with to improve them look like that. So for those of you that said, I'd go for that, no you wouldn't, the research suggests you'd go for that. So what I want you guys to be doing when you go home and when you go to business and you start pitching yourselves, start doing this. Make the person you're pitching feel significant. Do your research, tell them about themselves, because no single human is going to read that and stop reading. They're just going to feel on top of the world, and they'll love you instantly. And I guarantee, and I've got my email, I'm going to give you my email address, you can prove me wrong. If you start sending emails like this, you'll be staggered what happens. Staggered, with a capital S. So start sending emails like this. Make the person you're pitching feel valued and significant. This is just nonsense. This is stuff about me. I've put in brackets that I run a PR agency, but actually what I do, I'm a writer, filmmaker, documentary maker, adventurer. I'm a presenter on radio and TV and stuff. And thanks to these big challenges that I was doing, that's how I learned how to pitch myself, because I didn't have an agent or anyone behind me, so I just had to reach out to the media. And thanks to that, I was able to get featured on places like the Huffington Post, Red Bull, Evening Standard. If anyone's bored, put CK Goldiing, Soho, Social Experiment, enjoy yourself. Metro, radio, TV, several newspapers, and also if you want to put 61 Hugs, CK into Google, you watch a documentary that make you love the UK as well. So what I want you to do now, because there's some resources on my website that I want you guys to digest and enjoy, and it will make you a better pitcher. And if within the next 3 months something that matters to you isn't featured on either a high profile TV or newspaper or influential website based on the tips on my website, I'll be stunned. So if you want to get your phone out and scan that, or just visit that, I'm going to show you exactly where these resources are. If you want to scan that, I'll show you exactly where you want to be going on the website for the most valuable writing tips you will read this year. How do I go on?
You need to escape.
Escape. Okay, got you. There we go. And then
There should be several browsers.
there we go. Right, what I want you to do now is scroll down to this bit here.
Your QR code is deactivated.
Oh, that's annoying. Just type in, okay, I'll show you. You can do it later. The website is called Icons and Machines. Click on this bit here that says we want to be the most helpful PR agency in the world, which is why we've created this section here. And I want you to click on this one here. How to find influential journalists writing about businesses like yours in under 60 seconds. Click on that, read it, and enjoy yourself. I promise you that will help you with your pitching. It will help you get featured wherever you want to get featured. The website, again, it's just put in Icons and Machines into Google and you'll find it. And anyone that gets in contact with us until the end of the month with a pitch that you've written for yourself, we'll review it and give you our recommendations to make it 100 times better. So just email us through the website, and as a thank you for being here tonight, we'll completely review your pitch for you, make it better, make it more potent, make Matt love it so it doesn't interrupt you and go, not that one. I did enjoy that. I did enjoy that, by the way, enormously. So yeah, thank you sincerely for listening, and I welcome your questions if you wish to ask me any.
How do you select the right people to pitch to?
That is explained, at the risk of sounding trite, I do explain it in there. Matt, can you tell me about you or your business or?
So, I'm a serial entrepreneur. I run a few businesses and organizations.
Yep.
The main business I do is a software development agency that helps customers build competitive advantage by building digital products and implementing AI.
Okay, one of the most hassle-free, effortless things for you to do, Matt, and this is going to sound, is that it? But you'd be amazed how many people underestimate this. If you just open Google, Matt, and type in software developer UK, hit enter, then hit the news tab. You know there's several tabs in Google, images, video, whatever. Just type news, and then it will show you news articles about software.
Go after the certain journalists.
Yes, but there's a little bit more to it than that. But you need to kind of go onto that website and research what they're writing about, and then research that journalist who's always going to be in the top of that anyway. But this entire headline explains 3 ways to do this as well.
That's cool, thank you.
No, you're welcome. You're very welcome.
Maybe what kind of activities can we come up with in business to make it interesting for journalists to write about us?
What kind of activities?
Yeah, maybe something special rather than just, okay, we do this, this, this.
Okay, that's a great. Let me show you then. There is, this is a good idea. I'd recommend this one. If you're only going to read 2 articles on my website, read the first one and read this one, How to Fascinate People with Your Writing in 2 Seconds. This expands on the open loop principle. The open loop is the most powerful technique you're ever going to use, honestly. It's used in TV, radio. Netflix films use it all the time. TV series use open loops. It's not exclusive to PR. I just stole it from filmmaking because that's my background. But if you can use open loops in your writing, journalists will love you because they'll be hooked in your story. To answer your question directly, Indra, truthfully, it's a really good question, and it's quite challenging for me to answer it. What I'd probably recommend is look at your industry peers. if you look at your industry peers who seem to be featured quite heavily in the mainstream media, and how are they doing that? Now, under no circumstances should you copy them, but the worst case scenario, it's going to give you some inspiration and think, okay, I wonder if we can do something along similar lines, but with our own spin on it.
I would have a custom content to it. So like, for instance, if you want to attract healthcare specialists, you can do a report on the most influential healthcare people by yourself, and then pitch the fact that the report of most influential people in the niche is coming up, and that might be something unique that you bring to the market as a company.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And keywords Matt was mentioning there is unique. Like the key influential news reporters, writers, journalists, they love unique angles, unique hooks. And if you can go to them with something that's interesting and unique, it heightens your chances of securing the features that you're looking for. So yeah, absolutely agree with that, Matt. Hey.
Have you dealt with clients in property by any chance?
In property? What kind of property? That's quite broad.
So like clients that flip houses or turn below market houses into better houses.
Yeah.
And how did you help them kind of navigate that?
That's a really good question. The angle with that was she was a young woman, and that was quite advantageous to her because the news and the media, justifiably and rightly so at the moment, are enjoying stories which are female-driven stories. So by virtue of that, we just leverage that, especially where they're being young as well, and where they're actually slightly irrelevant, you'd think, but not necessarily sometimes, where they've been a single mum. That really helped her cause as well, because she was super ambitious, super bright, super resilient. So we just leaned into that.
Thank you very much.
No, you're welcome. Thank you for the question. Thank you for listening. Thank you sincerely. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you.
Ah.